Welcome to episode 148 of the Inside Byte. I'm your host, Tim Schaefer. I'm here with my co-host, Rudy. How you doing this week?
I'm good. Good. I just want to make an announcement. I finally beat Final Fantasy VII. It feels like a weight lifted off my shoulders. You know, you finish a game, you loved it, you enjoyed it, but you're ready to move on.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at, and we'll get into it later. But the final boss fight of Final Fantasy VII made me so angry and so annoyed, but I finally did it, so I feel better. But anyway, we'll talk more about that later.
Okay. When I think of that, that's the only time I ever actually want that. I mean, obviously, I want I'm fine with dying, Dark Souls and all that. You fight a boss even, 5 times, 10 times, okay, and you learn and blah, blah, blah. But, a boss that drives you insane more than
Right.
the usual, I'm okay with that if it's the last boss.
Yeah, and just to be clear, to me, only time I have a problem with it is if I feel it's some sort of thing that, like, you played the whole game, you did things a certain way, and then all of a sudden here's this brand new thing, or if it just feels like cheap. Like sometimes you might think it's cheap at first and beat them and be like, oh, that wasn't cheap. But I genuinely feel one or two things in that fight are just not even fair. But it's beatable. I beat it. But I hate that you can't go back. Like the fight that I was in, it's like so many phases, right? And every time I went to do it again, I memorized the dialogue because I couldn't skip it over and over and over. A little line or two.
Yes.
And, you do it so many times, you keep losing so many times, you start mocking the character.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, but I'm glad to be have played through it, man. It was awesome. So
okay. Yeah, we'll get to it.
Sure.
Let's do more of the addressing the Steam library.
Yeah, let's go.
So
you want to do? I was going to ask you. Do you want to do? It seems to flow better if we do a few. Do you want to do a few at a time?
Okay. Yeah.
Each, maybe like 3, 4, whatever, something like that.
I'll do. We'll do 2. So
okay.
Dead Rising 2 off the record. Actually, never even played Dead Rising 2. I played the first. I played like a tiny bit of this second one, like an hour or two. Sure. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll get to it, and just never did. Sure. Dead Rising 3 never played, and when 4 came out, that's whenever I actually played half, if not more than half, and it was pretty good.
Yep. Okay.
Wasn't 4? Cool. That was the right when the Xbox One and PS4 launched.
Was that 4 or 3? Was it 4? I can't remember. I remember the cover of it, kind of. Let me see.
Because I remember it was like...
Oh, yeah. Wait.
You were on a vehicle 3. And stuff?
I thought it was 3 because 3 is the one with the what's the guy's name? The protagonist. It came out 2013. So does that sound... Yeah, it came out with the Xbox One release.
Okay.
3 did. Yeah. I thought so. Because I remember seeing the cover. What's this guy's name now? I want to know now. Diego. That's what it was.
Okay. Yep. So it was 3 that I played, and I've always wanted to play 4, and I should. Because 4 is back with Frank.
The original guy,
but yes, I did. This is the one I played. I was thinking 3. So anyway, okay. That aside, I don't know. I'm not I'm whatever on the series. I don't think it's that great. I don't think it's bad either. It's just, I don't know. It's whatever for me. Deadcore, I honestly don't know what this is.
Deadcore, never heard of that one.
It's very positive on Steam. It's Bandai Namco. It's like Deadcore is a platformer FPS blending exploration and speedrun. Become immersed in a futuristic dreamlike thing. Is this VR?
I don't know.
I don't know, but it's like a first person shooter running up walls kind of thing, and I just was thinking that'd be kind of cool in VR. But it came out 2014, a while ago. But it looks like it's got great reviews. It actually looks pretty great. I guess I should play this.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, Deadcore. All right.
Deadcore. There it is. All right. For me, I have Citizens of Earth, I vaguely remember this game and the art style of it. I don't think I ever got a chance to play it, but it's like a cartoony, like comic
It's
booky,
like Earthbound, but it
kinda,
doesn't like it's not how you know how Undertale looks like a lot like
right?
Earthbound and like it's like even just old school aesthetic. Citizens of Earth is more of like it has that style, but the graphics like I don't know, they're much more modern than what would be in an Earthbound.
Yes,
But
yes, yep.
it's still like I don't know, same ideas of like same viewpoint, same kind of gameplay, same kind of like the way you the RPG ness of it is very Earthbound like stuff like that. I
Mm-hmm.
played like an hour of it, thought it was
Okay,
really good, and I just need to actually sit down and play. I mean, there's a lot of games
gotcha.
I like try just so I can be like, okay, what is this
Right,
about?
of course.
Before I actually really want to get into it because I'm playing something else kind of thing. So it's one of those games like I was like, okay, it passed the test. I do like this, and I would want to get back to it, and then
Yep,
kind of thing.
yep. Okay, I mean, that's one that maybe I could revisit at some time too. Then, and then I have Cocoon, which we both played, both loved. Very, very, very creative, cool, fun puzzler. That's an
Yeah, if I'm
awesome game.
thinking top of my head a review score, I'm thinking like 9.5 kind of thing.
Oh yeah, great game.
Yeah,
So the stuff they came up with, I still to this day, I'm like, wow, it's crazy.
it was
So
really good. I have Deathlight, Director's Cut. Deadlight's great. I don't know. Still weirdly never played the second one, but it was such a botch release at first that I never actually really took the time. But you got into it, right? This was the not dead. Hold on.
I was gonna say, let me see.
Um, was it
Oh no, I got into Friday the 13th,
Deadlight?
not
Okay, okay.
Deadlight. Oh,
So
am I
it's
thinking the Death by the Daylight, Dead by Daylight game? Is
no,
that what I was thinking of?
no. That's what
Deadlight.
is this Deadlight director's cut? Hold on. I think it's no. This is very different than what I was thinking. Never
Oh,
mind.
gotcha.
Never mind. I never even played this before. This is like a 2D sort of going to different scenes trying to like take everyone a zombie outbreak, rage of all hope, and a back to normal survival run. It's just like a 2D action platformer basically, but like with modern
Gotcha.
graphics. Anyway, I
That
don't
sounds
know.
cool.
Yeah.
I'll have
Never
to look it
played
up.
it. It's looking like 7 out of 10 range in reviews.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway.
Not bad for a random game in your library. You want to take the other one?
Um, Death Stranding, Director's Cut.
Okay, we all know how you feel about this game.
Yeah, I love this game. It's my favorite PS4 exclusive until it's on PC now. But
Right.
well, I guess it's no. Even it went. Did it go to Xbox?
That I don't know.
Anyway. Yes. I love this game. I still think about it all the time. I still will randomly pick it up and just play a bit of it. It's really good
Yeah.
as like a Steam Deck game. So that's another thing. If you never actually got to play it, if you have a Steam Deck, I would say that's probably the place to play it. You can play it in 60 and it look really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard great things about the port. So
But yeah, if it's a Kojima game, if nobody knew, and it's just a very you kind of have to play it to understand it because looking at it on paper, it sounds really dumb. Delivering packages kind of thing. Why would you want to do this? It's very much like walking simulator kind of game, to the very nth degree, but somehow just fell in love with it. And I don't know.
I
That's
was
that.
just gonna say that the game is probably one of the most boring games to describe, but it's so good. Like you just have to play
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Okay.
All right. Um, Next up, I have Command and
Basically,
Conquer
the
Red
Command and Conquer
3.
series, because you got the remaster collection and you have Red
Right,
Alert 3.
right.
But what do you think
So let's
about
just
Command
say,
and Conquer in general? I mean,
so I really love Command and Conquer. The one I played the most was Red Alert 3, I believe. With there was like this um expansion called Yuri's Revenge,
two.
and that was always my favorite one. That was God, so good, so much fun. I felt so accomplished whenever I would finish a battle in those games because there was so much going on. You had to learn. I had like the building, building, building.
Yeah.
All the little phrases and stuff were just in my head always. I used to love those games. So it'd
These
be
are
cool to get a
great
new
for
one.
Steam Deck. Speaking of great for Steam Deck,
Yeah, yeah,
anyone like Command and Conquer's awesome on Steam Deck. And
yep.
if you never played
Um,
3, you should, because that's the latest. 2 was the Yuri's Revenge thing, and
oh, two. I was
I
thinking of
think
two. Okay,
3
yeah,
only improved on it. And like I get it. It's not gonna be the exact same as like a nostalgic viewpoint, but
right,
there's no if you like 2, there's no way you would like 3. Is my opinion with
dude.
that.
Oh, man, brings back so many memories, man. I love that game so much. Thought it was so much fun. Um, and this is totally random, but there's a game also on Sega that I played when I was a kid, and I don't know why I thought of it after Command and Conquer, but I want to see if you ever heard of it. It's called General Chaos. Ever heard of
Mm-mm,
it?
no.
All right, do me a favor. Google General Chaos.
Is it on
This
Steam? You
game,
think?
you know what? I don't know. Let's see if it's on anywhere. Because if it is, I'm about to get that right now. I just
I
randomly
don't.
thought of this.
No, it's
Let me see.
not. It
What is it?
doesn't look like
No,
it.
dang,
What is
dude.
it
This
called
game,
again? Just
General
okay.
Chaos. Um, the reason why I know why I thought of it now because Red Alert, real time
Yeah,
strategy game. This is like a similar idea, but you have like the little soldiers and stuff, and
I
they
was
fight
like,
each
it
other,
looks
which
like a
is
Sega
awesome.
game, and it actually is.
So much. It was so
Let
much
me
fun.
see.
I wish I could get this again somehow. That was a fun game back in the day,
I've never seen this. This looks
dude.
wild.
Oh man,
It
I
really
love
does look like Command and Conquer, but you're actually
it.
have
Right.
more control over like the individual fightings that are going on.
It's so funny, dude. The frame rate is so
It
bad.
looks so
Holy
bad.
crap.
It's so jittery. Wow.
But yeah, just a random deep cut there.
I'm gonna
And then
Google. I mean, keep going here, but I
go
want to
ahead.
see what like, or did anyone ever review such a thing, and where did
Yeah,
they
yeah. Let
set
me
it?
know. I'm curious. Company of Heroes 2, by the way, the next one. I have not played this game. I just Googled it just to see. Looks pretty cool, looks pretty good, but I have not actually played it. So Mm-mm-mm.
Let's see. I mean, somebody gave it 4.5 stars.
Okay, there we go.
So, I'm a huge strategy fan, so imagine my delight when I chosen to review this General Chaos for the Sega Master Drive. It's one of the founding fathers of the genre, and a lot of RTS
I
details
agree.
we're now all familiar and made in their premiere here. Players take control of either General Chaos or their nemesis, General Havoc, as each team tries to capture their opponent's capital city. You can jump into battles instantly, although there's an option to play on a large, extremely simplified risk-type match. Um, Final thoughts here. Everything you hear is very basic. The controls, the story, and the battles themselves are almost too simplistic
Yep.
for a strategy. Conversely, there's a tone of replayability to be had. The constantly changing dynamics of the AI allow for every time you play the campaign to be different from the last. You can choose a totally different route to the enemy city and different teams types to fight with what. Your opponent also alters its own technical blah blah blah. The small squad-based strategic gameplay is a predecessor to huge titles like Company of Heroes. On this alone, General Chaos should be highly respected and appreciated for what it did for the genre. So,
There we
trying
go.
to say
I
maybe
agree.
nowadays it's probably average, but it broke a ton of ground at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. For me,
I
I
think.
know I would love it just like day one, but that's only because of the nostalgia. But I thought it was a pretty decent game. So anyway, just a
Yep.
random
Yep.
throw in there. But yeah, Company Heroes 2 I've not actually played. So
Yeah. I said my piece on it because I own all the games in this series and I love them. Next here with me, Deathloop. Um, I like this game, but I got over it pretty quickly, and I didn't really understand the hype. It was getting a lot of like 10 out of 10s and tons of 9s, of course, as well. and I'm throwing it in that camp of somewhere like 7 range. It's cool. It's good. It's fine. Nothing
Sure.
crazy. But anyway,
Yeah, I still gotta play that one.
Destiny 2. Uh, I mean, its gameplay is the best in the business, but uh, I don't know. I can only pick one live service game, and that is Final Fantasy 14. And even though I like sci-fi and I like FPSs and all that, I'm just not like, I don't know. I'm not that hardcore when it comes to shooters. So I feel Destiny and Destiny 2 very much like, if I don't know. I mean, that's the thing is like Halo, I played years and years and years very seriously and really really enjoyed it. But that's
Right.
a like, I like the PvP basically. And like Destiny 2, the only mode I would always ever play is PvP when it came to Destiny or Destiny 2. I don't like playing the strikes and raids and all that. And so for
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
like because the PvP isn't that strong and like it's like modes and thought it's pretty simplistic PvP when it's all said and done. And it's kind of sad that they
sure.
never really flesh it out as much as I would love them to. But it's well known in the community. They don't really focus on PvP that much. But I kind of wish they would.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want a
no.
Bungie
It
that
does.
super leans into PvP back. So
Right, right. I did do all of the the PvE stuff when I played it. I was huge into Destiny 1 and a decent amount to 2. But after a while I did try to start exploring, like let me do PvP or whatever else. And I thought it was okay. It just seemed like Halo was a better game. Just
hmm
this was a
hmm
little
it
worse, that's
is.
all.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, like technically, the way the guns feel and all that, and the
I mean,
powers,
yeah,
like it's
that
all super solid. But that's where it kind of starts and ends. But when you're actually play Halo matches, they're a lot more thought out, and it's a lot better maps, a lot better like way they sort of place the item weapons, the way they just sort of think how the matches are handled. Halo just does a much better job, and it's PvP. So
right,
any
right.
of them, like I would easily put Infinite over Destiny 2 if we're talking PvP. So even that. So anyway,
Yep, yep. All right. Let's see. Oh, every time I see Deathloop, I always wonder why it's all capitalized like that. All right. Anyway, next up I had Conan Exiles. I did play this game for a little bit only because it was so viral go around the internet. You
it's
could
an
like,
MMO, right?
oh my god, it's been so long. I don't remember this being an MMO because I briefly played it for like literally 10 minutes because I wanted to mess with the character creator thing, but double check me on that. But I remember there was a viral thing going around about the character creator. You can customize every part of their body. So I was like, oh, let me check this out. And I played it for literally just one session with a friend. So I can't really remember. I thought it was an okay
Conan
game. It wasn't an
Exile is
amazing.
an online multiplayer survival game.
Okay. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I didn't remember being an MMO, but I remember interacting with other people.
Okay.
But yeah, interesting game. And then we have Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. I really enjoyed this. I love hard games. I feel like the first one is super hard to do everything. But I enjoyed the challenge of it. I thought it was really good remake. So yeah,
I would
I
love
enjoyed it.
to just play through this trilogy. I mean, I own it on
So much
PC
fun.
and PlayStation, but I just have yet to actually really sit down and genuinely play this. But
Yep,
I keep telling myself I will. I just still haven't done it. But
yep,
um
yep.
I was big into Crash Bandicoot back in PS1 days. I used to play it all the time. 1, 2, and 3. Like they
Sure.
were big important titles for me growing up. So
Yeah, yeah.
I would love to actually sit
Definitely,
down and play these.
definitely worth playing. And the fact that you can play all three of them probably in less than I don't know 20-ish hours probably.
Again, Steam Deck.
You can run
I'm
through the
very
Steam Deck.
sure
Yep,
it would run there.
yep, yep.
So,
So,
all right. Destroy all
um,
humans. So, this is Clone Carnage. I actually got this for free. They were giving it away for like a single day or something like that, and I just happened to jump on this. But I've never played a single Destroy All Humans game.
me either.
And I even owned one back on PS2. I think like a friend just like gave it to me and was like, "Hey, I don't want this." I took it, still never played it, kind of thing. But I think I still own my Destroy All Humans PS2 copy though. Either way, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about the series because I just don't know much about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough. I've heard people who are into those games be really excited for the remake. So, yeah, no idea. But all right, I'll knock out these last three because I have not played any of these games. Dino D-Day, literally have no clue what that is. Let's see.
This is me.
Dino D-Day. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong one. But I want to
No,
look.
it's cool. But
I want
Dino
to look
D
through it.
Day
Let's see.
is pretty good.
Okay. Never heard of that. All right. Anyway, let me get back on the correct list here. Um, Crazy Machines 3. Do not know what this is. Let's check this out
I'm
real quick.
imagining like a top-down racer.
Okay, let's see.
I don't know what it is, but let's see.
No, it kind of looks like a side scroller kind of simmy thing
Oh,
where you can like
this
make
actually looks
little
pretty
contraptions.
cool.
This does look cool. Wow.
Okay, Crazy Machines 3. It's not a racer at all. It's
No,
like
it's like
building
a
contraptions of like
yeah,
when somebody like drops the marble and it goes
like
down the
the Rube
track
Goldberg
and
things. Yeah.
yeah.
Very cool. All right, that's actually interesting. Then I
Huh.
have Cursed, spelled a real edgy way,
Right.
CRSED. Cuisine Royale. I do know Cuisine Royale.
This is
I don't
a
know.
battle royale game.
Right.
I never played
Cursed
it, but that's what
Royale.
this
But you
is.
have like you have like a pan and he has waffle irons protecting his armor.
Oh, so it's like okay,
Oh
cooking
my
sort of theme,
god.
cuisine style.
That's
Okay.
funny.
Okay.
All right. And finally, I have Cuphead, which is one of my all-time favorite games ever. What a great game. The
Yeah.
DLC made it
This is
even
straight
better.
10 out of 10. I mean, this is
Oh
like
yeah.
this is
100%.
something to model game design
Game
on.
is so
Yeah.
so good. Even the art style alone, that
Yeah.
deserves awards on its own. The music is awesome. The gameplay is so fun. They don't waste your time. They're straight to the point. Every level is a boss level except
So
for like
my
the side
son
platform ones.
loves Cuphead.
So
He
good.
actually just beat it again for the second time
Nice.
like a few weeks ago. He's obsessed. He plays all the time. And
Yeah,
I'm thinking like, hey, for
I
a
get
game
it.
for something for him to get obsessed, I will gladly take
That's
Cuphead
a good one.
because
That's a good one. Yep.
his platforming skills are through the roof now. Just playing this
Yeah.
game so much.
Oh yeah. I could totally see someone being happy if their kid picks Cuphead as their game and
Yeah.
they actually could play it. But man, it took so many years
He's
for that
always
DLC to
trying to
come
get
out.
cousins to play and different friends, and they're always just like, "This is too hard." But
the,
he's
the co-op,
obsessed.
the co-op is pretty good. I like how they did the co-op.
Hmm.
But the DLC, even though it took so many years, it made it way better. So now it's like a perfect package. So
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. I love the addition of the what's her name?
Oh yeah, the ghost one. I forgot her name.
She has it to where it's almost like kind of an easy mode kind of thing. What is it? It's like a maybe a third jump.
Yeah, I don't know. I
What
think you
was
can
it?
parry automatically or something, and a third jump too.
There's
Something like
something
that.
very like not broken. It's not extreme, but it does make it quite easier. But it's fun. I just can't remember what it was now. What
Yeah,
the power
yeah, I
was.
can't remember.
Regardless, um, yeah. Again, 10 out of 10. This is something to model game design over, and one of those like groundbreaking, defining turning points in gaming. I would go there with that game. So,
Yep, agreed.
um, the Dirt series, Dirt 2 listed here, but I have like 5 or 6 Dirt games in my
Mm.
library. Dirt 2 being my favorite. Um, I even have the VR ones, and they're fantastic too. That's something like when you do ever get VR, like racing games are incredible in VR. I'll say that, and you actually have a great selection to pull from when it comes to VR with racing, and that's I never really thought about it until now. I'm like vocalizing it here, but that's gotta be like the pinnacle of VR in its current
Yeah.
status of like what would be the high of like a great experience, but it actually not
hmm
feeling like just an experience, but like hardcore gaming as well.
Gotcha.
And it'd be racing games. Like it fits it
Yeah,
perfect.
I could totally see that.
Because, I mean, like, just imagine, okay, you're actually just in the car looking left to right, looking at your mirrors, like, you're just up in there, and you're, like, um, driving, like, really elaborate cars, and it being super competitive, and it's, like, racing, and whether it's like arcadey or simulation super fun of like trying to be like perfect, and then like the arcade side is still incredibly fun in VR of just smashing cars and trying to like screw them over, and looking out the
Hmm.
behind your seat out the back and just seeing someone wipe out. It's great stuff. Like
Yep,
it's a really cool
that's
experience
very cool.
of like playing
That's
VR with
awesome.
racing. But the Dirt Rally games are definitely in that camp of like that perfect fine line of like not too simmy but not too arcadey. And you'll you'll be taking some like sharp turns up in like the mountains at night, and then your car just starts flipping down the hill, and you legit may want to throw up because you're in VR while that's going on. So,
That's
but
awesome.
it's fun, but it's really intense. Anyway,
That's some freaking wild. I've always heard good things about that franchise. So
yeah. Last game here, Dirty Bomb. I do
Dirty
know what
Bomb.
this is. It's super solid title. I played a bit of it. If I were to get into an online shooter, I think this is what I would
Okay.
play a lot of.
Oh, this looks cool. All
It's
right.
kind of like Counter Strike, but
Very
I
cool.
think a very like cool modern take on Counter Strike.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it.
Um, yeah, this does look cool. Interesting. All right.
It's a great game. It's got good reviews.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to some news.
Okay, so
It's the big one to start
Xbox is
with.
where we're gonna start. So there's been a lot of talk online. It kind of all spawned from this, but somehow this was like, you know, the what's the phrase that the something that broke the camel's back. What do they call it? The straw that broke the camel's back. I
Oh, Strat book. Yep. Yep.
don't know. I don't know. I'm just like, all right, Xbox. Like, all right, what's really going on? Is it over? Are they we need to really talk about their console side of things. Are they really going to continue all this talk? Because they closed 4 Bethesda studios. They closed Arcane Austin, which the last game they developed was Redfall. So I understand that, but you still have a good talent in there from the Prey game. And then you have Tango Gameworks, which they were behind Hi-Fi Rush, and that's where the core
That's a
of a lot of this
disappointment.
conversation comes down to, is because of the
Uh-huh.
situation with Hi-Fi Rush. I'm not going to get to it just yet, but we will. But Tango Gameworks, this is the one where obviously they shouldn't get rid of, but I have a little bit of a spicy take there, but we'll continue.
Okay.
Mighty Doom developer, Alpha Dog Games, they're like basically the mobile gaming division side of it. But again, that makes sense. I feel like I don't really. Microsoft's not really doing too hot in the mobile gaming, and they really shouldn't be trying to focus on that right now. So I'm happy
Sure.
with that going away and changing focus there. Bethesda support studio Roundhouse Game. Um, they do a lot of work with Elder Scrolls. Actually, I think what happened is um, they do a lot of Bethesda support, but they weren't doing Elder Scrolls Online, and now I think they got absorbed fully into Elder Scrolls Online. I think that's what's happening with them. Um, but
Gotcha.
I want to and Prey. When did Prey come out? That was a long time ago,
Ray,
2010 or
man.
something like that. I mean, we're talking 360 days.
Let's see. 20. Wait a sec. Oh no, that's that movie. I was like, what is going on here? Free video game. Let's see. 2017 was the latest one.
Okay, yeah. So that's
It's a good game.
yeah. It was a while ago. Um,
Hmm.
that was good. And then the last, all that time, and then they released Redfall, and it was that terrible, right? So it's like I can understand the thought process of like, all right, guys, we got to cut somewhere, and we need to focus and just try to make better games. That studio, okay. makes sense. You can go. Now,
Hmm.
again, obviously, I'm talking from a top high end level. Bunch of people's jobs got lost. It's a lot more serious than what I'm making out to be. I understand all that. We're just, gamers talking from a top level who does, we don't have any genuine like I don't know heartstrings invested into all of this stuff. All right, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, sorry, I was trying to jump in there.
yeah,
Um, I think that like I understand they're a business, they got to do what they got to do. It just, and I'm not even one of these people who every time someone gets laid off, I start complaining about it, because that happens in every job, right? However, I wonder if they plan these acquisitions out carefully enough to that they maybe could have avoided this. I know Microsoft has enough money. We all know that. But I don't know. I just wonder behind the scenes if they really did this the best way possible,
well, where all of the okay but comes in is Tango Gameworks, because the other three, that's where I'm
Yeah.
saying I can understand. Okay,
Yeah, sure.
it's
Sure.
just this one to where I'm just like, no, you have a Japanese developer. This is your only Japanese studio.
Really
Why would
calm
you
down.
shut it down? Especially if you've been trying so hard to get like Japanese style games a part of your
Sure.
like system and
Sure.
been working really hard at that. And then
And they've
you
been
do
shouting out like
this.
indies and such. So yeah, it doesn't make sense. But the Redfall developer that's being shut down. Now, just to be clear, Arcane is still in existence. This is
The team
specifically
who did Dishonored 2 is not a part of this. I think this
okay,
team did Dishonored 1 and then
gotcha.
Dishonored 2 in the expansion, but I hope I don't have that turned around. But there's another Arcane team that's the more important one. And this is the lesser of the two. I do know that.
Okay.
Um,
Just making sure.
this isn't the team that made Deathloop, for example. So
Gotcha.
the team made Deathloop, and then the other team made Redfall. And then so the team that's making that made Deathloop is currently working on Blade, which sounds
Gotcha.
amazing, by the way.
Yeah,
The
that sounds
perfect
really
team
cool.
for the perfect game there. That would be super cool, of like Dishonored style, but it's Blade. Actually sounds really dope. So it's not that team, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, I'm glad
It's
to hear
it's it's
that.
the other, yeah.
All right.
But yes, so you have the Japanese side, and then you have the bigger angle here is like Xbox for the last 3 years have been saying the biggest, most important, greatest thing about Game Pass is that we can have smaller titles because we're worrying about subscription numbers. We're not necessarily worrying about a game selling 20 million copies, right? So it can help facilitate sort of like smaller titles, and these teams can make. That's why a Pentiment can come out, for example, right?
Hmm.
Um, Game Pass can sort of make that all happen. Well, Hi-Fi Rush was like the perfect prime example of this, of being like, hey, we didn't put a lot of money into this. It's a fantastic title, and it's a great addition to our vision of like, we know it's not the biggest game ever, but because we have Game Pass, we're allowed to do things like this, and without there being any sort of negatives to it, is so they've
Yeah.
been saying this entire time. And yet here they go and shut down this team who does the perfect example of like, here's just not an indie darling, because they're not indie, but you know what I mean. Just
Right. Right.
a simple, concise game that doesn't take a ton of money, but it's just made incredibly well. And what more could you ask for? And the team delivered on all fronts, and you still shut
Yeah.
the studio down.
It's
And
kind of
it's
crazy.
like this is where the wild, like, I can't believe what are they doing kind of talk comes in. And that's why I mean, like, okay, I can understand shutting down the mobile game department. I can understand shutting down the rest, but this doesn't make any sense to me. Now, the one thing, my very first thought when I saw the story and why there may be more going on behind the scenes, because the guy, the main dude, Tango Gameworks, he left
Hmm.
like 6 months ago or
Oh,
so.
oh, I remember that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yep.
so when he's gone, maybe genuinely the team just wasn't really there. And maybe there's a bigger reason why Microsoft, like why they decided to shut them down, more than just the performance of their last game. Like they probably maybe they were happy with Hi-Fi Rush. This I don't think this proves that they weren't happy. That's what it starts to wonder of, like maybe it's all just based around it's the dude who created Resident Evil and went on made the Evil Within games, which I think are great. And that anything that studio's made is like really good
Yeah,
games. I do
yeah, I
like
agree.
Ghostwire Tokyo. I understand like it's not the greatest. It's a little empty. They could do more. A sequel could
It was
really like,
decent game.
but
Yeah,
I like it. Like they did a good job. Is what I mean. Like it's a great team. So I maybe it really just boils down to more of like because the creator not being there kind of
could
reason.
be, could be. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I definitely have to uh, play Hi-Fi Rush now. Just now that I know that we're not going to get another one like that. Like, okay, I gotta
Yeah,
definitely do
yeah,
that.
yeah. I saw it really cheap on CD keys actually.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I
I'll have to
just
check
went
it.
and got what was it? Which, by the way, I've been wondering if we should do a segment on like recent pickups because
Yeah,
I'm always like picking up
always
random
looking for something.
things
Yeah.
like here and there of like here an N64 game. I picked up Majora's Mask for like $50 when I usually see it for over 100 all the time
Wow.
and like really
Dang.
good shape. So I just like I have to pick that up kind of thing. Or like I just got Callisto Protocol because it was $3 on CD keys. So I was like
Oh, dude,
let me do that.
I've always been so curious about that game, but I did not want to spend the money. So $3, man, that
Yeah,
might be a
yeah.
steal right
I
there.
bought that and Resident Evil, the original. That's the only one we're missing in our shared library. So I was like, okay, well let me pick up that one as well because it was like $4. So I got them both for like 7. So
Gotcha.
but all the time I'll just be looking at sales and picking up random things. I recently picked up Citizen Sleeper because I've always been curious of that. So that's on Steam now.
Okay.
I picked Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate Edition because it was like
Oh,
six
nice.
bucks. All the
That's
Fallout
awesome.
series, Fable Anniversary because I've always wanted to go back and play the original Fable.
Sure.
That'd be a cool one to play on deck. I don't know.
I was gonna say with the Steam Deck makes so many more things easier
Yeah.
done.
So what I'm getting at is, I'm always just kind of looking in that sell grind kind of thing. So I think that'd be a neat little like, I don't know,
Yeah, we
recent pickups
could make it in.
kind
Yeah,
of thing.
sure.
All right, but going back, long story short, the Xbox stuff. All right, so all that the studio shut down, so it keeps leading to this like overall bigger narrative of just okay, well you had the perfect example when it came to Hi-Fi Rush of what you've been speaking on for years, and you just completely do the opposite, and you actually shut them down, and it feeds into a bigger conversation of everyone's shutting everything down lately and firing people left and right and making all these cuts, blah blah. So it feeds into all of that, but it also feeds into what I want to get into is just like Xbox and really trying to come up with what are genuine just predictions of what you think of this in 5 years. What do you think they're doing? Like maybe not 5, let's say 8, like not even quite 10. Just do you think Xbox even has another console? Do you think they really are just trying to publish games, and is that the
Yeah.
thing? um I don't know.
Yeah.
Where do you think, because of stuff like this happening, even
Right.
whenever their their biggest thing of what they apparently were caring about, they don't. Well, what do they care about? And
Sure.
are they really just hitting the dirt? And are they really just kind of like dead? I don't
Yeah,
know per se.
it's hard to know because it's like I feel like there's so many times where Phil Spencer says something and then we're like waiting for it and then either it doesn't happen or it goes the opposite and then he comes out and says I take responsibility, I apologize, and then I feel like we just do it again, you know? And there's so much potential there to keep Xbox in the race. I feel like I'm not a businessman at all, but I feel like there's a few decisions I would have made differently than them and to Nintendo and to PlayStation, all three of them. that could really have a big positive effect. Just knowing how people react to this stuff, you know. But
what do we do now though? What did they do now? There's no going back. There's no changing
right,
anything. You
right,
know, like
yeah. Well, unfortunately,
what do
the
you
only way
think Xbox is gonna do? I guess.
I think they're eventually going to say that they're going to start fresh. They're gonna replace old Phil, some new people in there. They're going to say we're doing this differently now. That's my guess. I don't know if that's true. That's just what I see happening
I
with these
I
companies.
thought that too, and I want that to happen.
Yeah, at this point.
I want I'm not a Phil hater. I actually like him.
I'm not a
Um,
hater of them. Yeah,
but you know, it's when it comes to just the business of the brand. He's had enough time to do something, and he's done great things, but he just hasn't done enough, and it's been too long of him not doing enough. So he does need to go. Like I am in that camp. Um,
hmm
I'm
hmm
very curious. Someone else taking charge, like what
Who
does
would it be?
you
Yeah,
know like I want to see the new direction. I want to see what they choose to do. And honestly, if they drop consoles altogether, one, I don't know if I'm really even caring that much. I do
right.
buy consoles, but I buy every console, and I've always been that
Sure.
person since I possibly could afford to do so. In terms of like, I'm a teenager and this is the life I'm living. I want every console that's out there because I just like tech. But I even
Yep.
play my Xbox more than I play my PS5 just because of Game Pass, for example. So if I had to get rid of one, technically I'd get rid of my PS5 first. But I still wouldn't want to because of the exclusives and all that. So I have all these reasons, blah blah blah. But all that being said, should the brand care? Because when it comes to console sales, in the beginning, X and S, like compared to the PS5, they were decently close. Like you had some months where one was higher than the other, and it kind of went back and
Right.
forth there for the first year or two, and then it just had like a huge falling of just like a gigantic difference to where it's expected to be somewhere between like PS5 at like 55 and Xbox at like 25 kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and where it was more like, you know, uh, let's say 60-40 or kind of thing, but now it's a far bigger difference. And then so it makes you, and it's been a while of this, and then the Xbox One era was even worse in that regard, right? So it's like now you're talking how many years, 15 or something like that, to where it's like, well, at this point, do we keep trying to do console, or do we look elsewhere, kind of thing? And then more of this talk happens because, again, you have a prime example of a studio releasing great games and you still shut it down. So what do you even want in the end? Is it really, if it really is just about money, well, then you're gonna have to start making big moves here, which I guess is what they're doing here. And obviously it's gonna always be about money. You know what I mean, though? Like, do they care about making small bets and making small money, or do they just keep trying for the big stuff way too often? Because I guess that's what they're saying here, because the small stuff isn't good enough if they're
Right.
shutting
Right.
this down. Unless they're not saying that by this. That's the thing, is like, I'm not complete I think that more than not, right? I do
Right.
think it's not because of the guy, the leader leaving. But I'm just saying it's a
Right.
big possibility it's just because of that, and they really aren't trying to say they don't want hi-fi rushes to exist. Like, I don't I don't want to stay too much in that camp of that being the reason,
Of course. Yep. No, I
because
get
we
it.
don't actually know.
We don't know behind the scenes everything, of course, but
And the fact of him leaving is a pretty big fact. It's hard
yeah,
to
it's just
ignore. It's hard to get out of the back of my head. It makes me
right.
wonder. But
The optics are just not great, but yeah,
yeah.
it is what it is. We'll see. But okay, Tim, I gotta go run and
Yep.
grab my kids now. So yeah, when I get back, we'll continue. It shouldn't be, yeah,
It
it should
won't
be
be
fine.
long. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. All right, man. I'll be back.
Okay.
All right, bye.
All right. Next up here, Square Enix will aggressively pursue multi-platform strategy in company reboot. So, we talked last week on Square Enix basically fumbling the ball a lot, losing a lot of profits, and they released this, and basically what we were saying is they're gonna need to really press to like go to more platforms, and that's exactly what they're saying they're gonna do. So they must have listened to our episode.
Yeah, there we go. They knew it. They knew we meant business. No, but I mean, God, this is. I'm happy. I don't want to do the whole Final Fantasy 16 and 7 launching just on PlayStation anymore.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
clearly it's eating into their sales. Like, just put it everywhere, man.
And again, now that we know the Nintendo stuff, which we'll get into, we know for sure that it's at least like we're gonna hear of the system before March of next year. We know that confirmed. So we're assuming maybe end of next year actually receiving it.
Yep,
So
that would be
like
great.
next Nintendo platform, they at least should be able to throw current stuff on that.
Right. Yep, agreed.
So
Yep.
anyway, so Square Enix is rebooting itself aggressively, pursuing a multi-platform strategy that includes PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and PC in the process. This comes from the company's latest financial earnings report, which details Square Enix's 3-year reboot plan for long-term growth. Within that 3-year reboot plan, Square Enix lists 4 pillars. Enhance productivity by optimizing the development of footprint in the digital entertainment DE segment. Diversifying earnings opportunities by strengthening customer contact points, hitting as many places as possible. Roll out initiatives to create additional foundational stability. Not quite sure what they're getting at there. I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Anyway, strike a balance between shareholder return and growth investment when allocating capital. So when they do earn, making sure they're just not blowing it. But again, why would you wouldn't that always be your stance?
I mean, I would think so.
As part of this plan, Square Enix will aggressively blah 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 go to all platforms, especially in regards to major franchise and AAA titles, including catalog titles. It will build an environment where more customers can enjoy these titles. So clearly, what they're getting at is like, I get what you just said. Final Fantasy 7, even 16, just any like big release AAA status, they really want to make sure that hits all platforms, which cool.
I'm super happy about it. So I'm tired of having to constantly do the freaking, let me go play on console when it could be much better on PC. I just don't see the need to do that. So,
but yeah, cool. You can take this next one.
Yes, sir. All right, next one up.
Just
the voice of Final Fantasy. Yeah, the voice of Final Fantasy. Excuse me. The voice of Final Fantasy 16, Sid, Ralph Ineson, will play Galactus in Marvel's Fantastic Four movie, which hits theaters on July 25th, 2025. He's great. So I think that's an awesome choice.
Yeah, I saw this and I was just like, man, Sid's...
He's awesome, man. So good.
It's a toss-up, but he potentially is the best character in the game. And he did a fantastic job. I think he's incredibly talented, so that'd be really neat seeing him in, Fantastic Four as like the main villain dude. That seems pretty cool.
Hopefully it'll be a good Fantastic Four movie.
Right?
That first one was I never even watched the second one, but
I mean, isn't there like 3 technically
sorry.
of like redos?
There was like the 2 original ones, right? Okay. I remember those with Chris Evans as the Torch guy, and then later on they did the one with Michael B. Jordan, I think.
I never watched that.
And then the only other time we got Fantastic Four was when oh my god, was it in the Doctor Strange movie when what's his name is Mr. Fantastic or whatever his name is.
Mr. Fantastic. Yeah, that's his name. The leader basically. Yeah. Another thing here, Sonic Rumble, 32-player mobile platformer battle royale is coming this winter. But what it is you're just playing Sonic levels but it's like 32 people competing all at once, and I'm assuming like in a speed run fashion. Actually, it is a speed run fashion of like playing through Sonic things. But what's cool is plays different characters in the universe from like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Amy, Dr. Eggman, and presumably more. And then you can unlock like different outfits for them and all that sort of stuff. But I saw this
Right.
trailer and it actually looks pretty cool. Like I could see me playing this on my phone when I'm bored, kind of like
Yeah.
somewhere out and
Yeah.
about, a cool little Sonic Battle Royale thing. Because I'm
Sure.
telling you, I think Battle Royale is the most interesting in this pocket. I'm telling you that F-Zero, you still got to play it.
Oh, I do.
So
God,
good.
the
But
way people
there's
talk about it.
the Tetris 99's awesome. All of these like old school games, but you're doing a battle royale version of it. Honestly, I don't know. They're all really great. I have a lot of fun with them, so
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
I'm down. Keep this going.
Yep. All right. Multiverses coming back May 28th. So if I remember correctly, they really just pulled this game off completely
Yep,
for a
yep,
while, right?
yep.
Wow.
So it's been about a year, maybe a little less than a year.
It's kind of crazy.
Um, they basically announced Joker and the like latest trailer thing, and then dropping the date here, May 28th, which is super soon. So that's cool. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'll try it out again, but I don't really care. It's nothing I really it's nothing I really even want to play. So I don't know. I just don't really have a hunger
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here.
No. So but I don't really see this being a conversation really anywhere.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if coming back if I don't know what they're expecting. I don't know if it's really
Yeah.
gonna do much regardless. But
Yeah. I don't know how much this is gonna move the needle at this point, you know? I feel like they've probably lost a lot of people. I mean, listen, they were trying I know they were trying to do the right thing, fix things up, whatever. But yeah, I guarantee a lot of people have moved on, you know?
Atlas has announced the original version of Shin Megami Tensei 5 will be delisted because they're putting the new version out. I don't know, small little thing there. Basically, they're removing the 13th and then they're adding the definitive edition the next day after. But I more just wanted to put this here to just be hyped on. I'm excited for June 14th when this releases because
Sure.
I got decently far, put it off because I was playing it through emulation and I kind of didn't want to. It just didn't run that great in frame rate, but on Switch it ran even worse. And I just like, I don't know. It kept bothering me because I love the game so much, but the frame rate is just bad. And it just kept being such a like an annoyance for me. So when this hits, I'm super excited because I'm just gonna start over from scratch, hyped to
Right.
replay it, play there's a whole list of like quality of life improvements to this game, a lot of rebalancing stuff, um, a lot of new content too. So I'm gonna be all over this. It's releasing on all platforms. I'm probably gonna get it on Steam. That way I can play it on my PC or on my Steam Deck and kind of go back and forth. So
Sure.
um,
Okay. There we go.
it's a great game. I mean, I think of all things, if I was just trying to press you into a certain game, it'd be this. I really think you should give this a try. I think you would be just because of the way it handles its like difficulty in the sense of you're trying, it's very much in that Dark Souls mentality of I just really want to see what's around the other bend, but I could get really messed up at any moment. But you're trying to just see how far you can get till you get to the next bonfire, or in this case, the way they do the save points or whatever. And it's such a great feeling when you finally get to the next area, because you're pressing through so many difficulty things. But it's through turn-based RPG battles, but it is incredibly difficult. Like any normal person can easily kill you if you're fooling around too
Sure.
much.
Sure.
So
Okay.
I think it's
Fair
great.
enough. Yeah. All right. Nintendo World Championships, NES edition. Oh God, I remember these cartridges that are worth so much money. You never see those ones?
Yeah, they're like tens of thousands, I want to say.
Crazy. Anyway, NES edition hit Switch in July with 150 speedrun challenges in 13 games. Set to hit Switch on July 18th, Nintendo World Championships NES edition features more than 150 challenges to complete, and you can compete for top spots on global online leaderboards. God, I can already see people going crazy over trying to set these
Now
records.
they reset. They said it was either every week or every month, but they do reset on a cycle, which is cool because that way, if people are cheating and rigging it or
Right,
finding something, like at least it resets and it
the
gives.
resets, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
Nintendo revealed this compilation title with a trailer that pulls heavy on the Nintendo World Championship nostalgia, with previous winners appearing, footage from old competitions, and more throughout. That's pretty cool. As you can see, challenges in the game include reaching the Super Mushroom as fast as you can in Super Mario Bros., defeating the Octoroks for the fastest in Legend of Zelda, and reaching a specified gate as quickly as possible in Metroid. And those are just three of the 150 plus challenges available in the game, spread across 13 NES games. Each week, there we go, you can
okay.
compete for the top spot in the World Challenges weekly global online leaderboards, or you can complete against up to 7 friends in the local 8-player party mode with bite-sized challenges and an automatic rewind feature, so you don't need to master entire games to feel like a Nintendo World Champion. The trailer's description reads, Nintendo has also unveiled a deluxe set for Nintendo World Championships NES edition. It includes collectible items like art cards, a golden NES cartridge, and a physical game card. Nintendo World Championships NES edition hit Switch on July 18th, 2024. Deluxe set will cost $59.99. A digital eShop version will cost $29.99. Well, I know this is going to turn into another collectible thing.
It
You're
already
making
sold out immediately. It came out and it already sold out within, I want to say, an hour. So there's
Jeez.
no getting this, by the way. The collectors,
Yeah,
it's gone
I can
unless
already
they
imagine.
unless they push another run of it. But again, that's going to go immediately. So good luck with
Oh
that.
yeah.
Okay. Um, Nintendo has released this latest round of financial results, this time for the end of the fiscal year of 2024, which ended in March. The Switch has surpassed 140 million units sold, and Nintendo has revealed it will announce the Switch successor by March 2025. With the latest numbers on Switch software, here's Nintendo's most up to date list of the best selling Switch games. We have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at 61.97 million units. Animal Crossing New Horizons 45 million, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate 34 million, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 31 million, Super Mario Odyssey 27 million, Pokemon Sword and Shield 26 million, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet 24 million, Super Mario Party 20 million, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom 20 million, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe 17 million.
These numbers are staggering, man.
Pure
Crazy.
insanity. Yes. Um, let's get into Rebirth. You beat it.
Yes, yes, I did. Um, I think overall, by the time I finished it now, I think the game, excuse me, I think the game is really good. I think the combat is excellent. Um, I think a lot of the mini game stuff was really fun. I did have a few things that kind of turned me off to it. Like I wanted to do everything in the game. There's something towards the end. Again, I don't want to spoil anything. It's just like a side area that's very, very difficult, let's say. And I just feel like the spike in difficulty was like so ridiculous that I was like, I'm not gonna do this. Um, there were a few little moments like that where I was like, maybe like it's hard for me to put into words. Okay, do I think the game has a good amount of content in there that's just to extend the length of the game? Sure. Do I think some of it is really good though? Definitely. There are some things that I feel, okay, I'm kind of tired of it now. We had this whole conversation last time, right? You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to do,
Mm-hmm.
although the way I play these games, I feel like I really want to. So um the game took me 113 hours, right? So yes, definitely a very long game to do and see all the cool stuff. And I know that a lot of the stuff is tied together with like quests and things. Again, I'm not complaining about that. I loved it. Um, but by the time I got to the end of it, I was like, you know what? I'm good. Like I think I've spent I could have finished this 20 hours ago and been okay, you know? That being said, I really, really liked it a lot. And I gotta watch a video about a lot of the ending and stuff because I'm pretty confused to be honest, which I haven't done yet. But yeah, yeah. Overall, I'd say like it's a 9 out of 10 in my opinion. You know, it's a good game. Very, very good.
I played about 4 hours of it this week.
Mhm.
I keep I get off work. The Steam Pensacola stuff, for example, I'm pouring a lot of
Right.
time and energy into that, making a lot of videos and stuff.
Right.
So, not like lately, I've been super busy, but anytime I'm like done for the day, whether that's like, okay, me getting home at work and then working on video stuff for another 2 or 3 hours, and then it's like 9, 10 o'clock, 11, whatever, and then I go to bed and I'm playing my Steam Deck, playing Balatro.
Sure.
And I basically been doing that for like 2 weeks now. And I'm like, I want to go and play an actual game because there's so much to play, but I'm just kind of tired and I just want that like relaxation and I could just play a roguelike poker. And it's just so
Right.
addicting. And so I've gotten 4 of the decks completed at this point, and if people who
Okay.
play know what I'm talking about. But
Yep.
you got like a blue deck, a red deck, a yellow deck, whatever. But let's say red, for example, would be every round you gain a discard, or you play the blue deck. Every round you gain a new card to add to your hand to pull from, something like that. Anyway, so you got like
Gotcha.
these deck things, but such a simple thing because the game has so many layers to it really changed the way the game is played. So um, the decks are really fun to jump between because of how different it feels and how fresh it feels. And so it's almost like those are the levels kind of thing. So, but
Gotcha.
I'm really, I mean, I've probably put 30 hours in the last 2 weeks. A card
Okay.
game, so it's quite a
I mean,
lot
hey,
for such a thing. But
sounds like it's very very
I
fun, very
I
addicting
really
game.
like
So
it. Yep, yep, yep. So there's that. My
um
kid got pretty into it too, and he likes it a lot because he was watching me play, and then he's now in this mode of like asking me to just play poker in general because of this game, and he's starting to get into poker because of this. So that's kind of funny. Side note there, but yeah.
I mean, hey, it does seem like you said simple enough that pretty much anyone can pick it up, and then you can really delve into the
Yeah.
mechanics of it and everything. So by the way, the only other thing is just I started the Final Fantasy 16 DLC almost right after,
Okay.
and it's an interesting, switch up. It's so different, but it makes me happy to see where Final Fantasy is to a point where they can make two Final Fantasy games that are so different, but I really like both of them.
Yeah,
So
of
um
such ridiculously high quality, um, of
yeah,
two completely different style games in
way
such
different. Yep.
a pretty much at the same time frame. It's very
Yeah.
weird. I mean, very weird.
Yeah, it's so impressive, which again goes back to the story that we talked about earlier. Where why aren't you putting this everywhere? These games, this
Mhm.
Final Fantasy, this is not like Final Fantasies have been on all the platforms for a long time. So
At
it's
least
like,
we
come on,
know
man.
16 is coming to PC. Clearly they can't say till whatever contract time ends of when
Right.
that's gonna be, but I'm assuming right whenever that time ends, it's like, oh, it's the following month, something like that. But so at least there's that.
Yep.
But the problem is it's kind of already too late. Like,
Right. You're missing the boat.
yeah, yeah,
So, but I'm gonna get into that, and then I'm gonna play Stellar Blade after this because I've had that sitting there. And actually, oh, lastly, I just wanted to mention there's this game Animal Well that came out. It's an indie game,
yeah,
and I've
yeah,
heard
yeah.
great things about it.
There's a lot of
Watch some
really glowing
videos.
reviews on this game.
Yeah, it makes me want to check it out on Steam Deck, but I don't know. I
So,
might.
do you know, like, okay, Donkey? It's a
Yeah.
big YouTuber. I do think
Yep.
he's funny. I've
Yeah.
been
He's
watching
pretty
his
funny.
videos for about 2 years. He's been doing it for a long time, but I'm not like super fresh on him, but I'm relatively fresh compared to how long he's been doing it. I want to say more like 5 or 6, maybe he's been doing it. For all I know, maybe a lot longer, but last year or two, if I've known, and it's not like he made it, but he basically helped publish it and get it out there and all that,
Right. Right.
because the original creator is just one dude. Like, making everything, and he spent the last 8 years on this game, and it's so awesome that somebody puts that much time and energy and passion into it, and it's like selling gangbusters and everyone's loving it. It's a really good, heartwarming story, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Um, the videos I've seen, it looks like it has some really cool, fun mechanics in it, and a lot of sort of exploring and figuring out how things
Yeah,
work,
there's
which
a lot of
is really cool.
secrets, and there is
A lot
combat
of
in the game,
secrets.
but it's not like super focused on combat.
Right, right, right.
It's more
So
about
yeah, man, it looks
exploration and finding interesting secrets and stuff, which I'm
right.
about. I don't know. I kind of just I feel like I just need to play it. I've watched videos, but um I don't quite get it, but I purposely haven't watched too much of it.
Right,
So I
right.
kind of just
Same,
want to see
same.
for
Just much of it.
myself. Yeah. But
Yeah.
all right. Getting to new game watch and we'll get out of here. So Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut will be out on PC pretty much when this episode releases, which is tomorrow. Um, that's great. Again, you need that PSN account if you want to play online. And I just want to reflect one more time. I actually would want to sign into the PlayStation Network account. I just it's more of I just don't think you can force it on a completely separate platform. I think that's just where my issue lies. But me personally, I definitely would. I would want my trophies to sync. I'd want to see my friends
Right.
list. I do think it's cool. It's just the fact that it's forced with the multiplayer for this game, and it was going to be forced to Helldivers, like I said, until they removed it. I really wish they would do the same here because I think this game's fantastic, and this game isn't going to be played as much because of this. I just see too many like Steam addicts not wanting it's been an ongoing thing for how many years of just refusal to want to like sign into other accounts if they don't have to. But again, I don't think that Microsoft account really takes a toll here because with 10 and
Right.
11, you kind of have to have one. And all you're really doing is maybe putting in your password for one of the games, and then anytime you launch like a different one, it just kind of like knows who you are, and you just kind of agree and continue. But you're running it on Windows, so that makes sense to me.
Right.
Um,
It's a bit different. I don't think it's the same exact
anyway,
thing. So
but I do think they're kind of ruining their image and the amount of people that may play this game online on PC by forcing that. But not that the
yeah.
game's solely a multiplayer thing. Obviously, it's technically bigger of a single player ordeal. But I just, if people haven't done the multiplayer, I think it's fantastic, and especially the waves of enemies, like sort of like
Sure.
raid mode ordeal, is so much fun. So
Yep.
that's
Yep.
all. Lor- Lorelia and the Laser Eyes Switch and PC May 16th. Please fix the road. PlayStation 5, 4, Switch May 16th. Read only memories. Neurodiver, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, PC, Switch May 16th. Indica, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S May 17th. Songs of Conquest, PC May 20th. Gestalt, Steam Insider, PC May 21st. Paper Trail, all platforms, even mobile, May 21st.
God, Hellblade
Swana
2 comes out next week.
Saga
Jesus Christ.
Hellblade 2, Xbox Series X and S, PC May 21st. Now here's the thing. This is where it gets a little weird because all the Xbox stuff going on right now, there's no like preview, review, talk on
No.
this.
It's
So
been dead
it's looking
quiet.
a little weird. But at the same time, they've been on this for a long time, and it's not that long of a game, 8-9 hours, like they said.
Right. Right.
Um, so I don't know. I'm a little weirded out by the lack of any discussion from any side about on this.
Ah, I just I hope this game doesn't come out and it's like a fart in the wind, you know? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
man, we were so excited, and then it's like, yeah, whatever. But hopefully that's not the case, you know?
Because this feels like to me one of the like showcases for the next Unreal
Right,
Engine kind of experience is how I
right.
see this.
Sure.
So I hope it can do that. So and then
Yep,
System
agreed.
Shock, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, May 21st. That's that remake of System Shock releasing the console.
Yep.
I've heard that's great. And then
I've heard really good things.
X Defiant is hitting consoles, PlayStation 5, Xbox
Yes.
Series X and S, and
No,
PC, May 21st. I'm curious what it's going to do.
I'm just kidding. I want to
Again,
see.
it does force that Ubisoft application, so it's not even just the fact of having a sign-in account. You actually have to use the Ubisoft launcher. There's no way this is blowing up on PC because of that alone.
Right, right.
But
That's definitely
maybe
gonna
it
hold
can
them
take
back.
off on console, and then because of that, gain a lot of steam, and then maybe then pick back up on PC because of that. But it's not going to naturally grow on PC. It would have to be something really forcing it. But,
Yeah, yeah, agreed. We
okay.
shall see. I hope that it ends up going well for them, man, because they need a
I
W right
think
now.
it's a little cool. Like, I'm Splinter Cell, and then I'm using it's like Far Cry characters being able to fight against maybe a spy from Splinter Cell game to mix in with some Watch Dogs hacker. Like, the idea is cool if they actually do a good
Sure,
job, but it's
sure.
just more of like, dude, I don't think Ubisoft has been able to gain hype in like a decade at this point.
It's
Whether
been
you
quite a while.
feel
What is
it's
the
like deserved or not, they just don't really seem to do much in terms of any big waves of conversation and sales or anything like that.
right? They've definitely fallen down quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll have to see how that one goes. But
All right.
oh
Well,
boy.
that'll do it for this episode. And
All right, guys. See you later.
bye.